Turn up your speakers. Alright, welcome back. Game number 3 in this first best of 3, or sorry, well I guess the second best of 3 of the day, but this is still one of the first matches that determines again who goes to the losers match and who falls to, or, well, winners and losers basically. I don't know why I get caught up saying that, but either way, we're on Foxtrot Labs. Game number 3, spotting the top left corner of the map. It's going to be my Insanity's Red Protoss Rain.
In the bottom right, it's Oz, the blue Zerg. It's Axiom's Impact.
So Rain, strong player. That's what's kind of nice. He falls into a situation in game number 1, doesn't even falter from it, doesn't even go on tilt, just writes it off as a regular game, continues to play normal on Overgrowth, has a fantastic game for it, and now we move into game number 3. And I think the big question is, does Impact, does he have a special build? Does he have something for Foxtrot Labs up his sleeve? Or is he just going to play this to the best of his capabilities?
Yeah. I mean, we always expect something on Foxtrot because, you know, Foxtrot. So, like, an early pool, you know, 13-13, all cool things to do. But Impact just goes for a very, like, you know, standard, just a little bit, just tiniest bit risky, 15 hatch, you know, hatch before pool, without a scout. And that is a little unfortunate because Rain is going for a cannon rush. I mean, I was talking about, like, if the option, he usually goes for a macro game, but he has every build that Protoss should have in their, you know, arsenal, including a cannon rush. Now it's found, but yeah, there you go. Not so hard to block off.
Yeah, Foxtrot Labs does have a very interesting dynamic for the sake of this, but this is really tough to do for Impact because normally you just cancel and move elsewhere. But this is not a map where you take a comfortable third at the gold or the north position.
I'm just gonna take this gold. Okay with you? Okay. Yeah, I mean he's gonna have to. With only one cannon, it doesn't look like Rain's gonna commit anymore. He could maybe like just barely get like a queen, some lings, and maybe a spine crawler out in time. But we don't usually see that risk anymore. Usually, the Zerg players prefer just canceling. That's what happens. He actually double expands to both third locations, which is absolutely terrible.
It's
like
just,
not a bad idea.
It couldn't be more spread out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, it's probably the best idea he has. Like, you know, the SOL, I got cannon rush with this, but it's gonna be so hard to defend it.
Let's not forget, this does happen from time to time. This could be used for a very nice fortified warping location a little bit later on. Suddenly you're like, oh, 2 bases, 4 gates, no problem. Very interesting wall coming out of Rain, especially considering the way it's formatted around his natural instead of going for the wall up front. Kind of makes it a little bit more contained, a little bit tighter around the ramp. Interesting to see.
So there's no gap on the left side. There's the gap on the right side, right? Like the forgers are tripping out.
That's got to be a gap.
It looks like it, right? But ramps have a way of making it look even weirder.
Right, ramps have that really stupid bottom grid space where the rocks would normally be. So. Yeah, I guess that is, because the lings are trying to come in from the right side. Of course, with the cannon there, he can't really come in with 4 lings. He needs at least 6.
I guess we don't cast it, like, I don't know what it is about the lack of PvZs, or maybe the lack of Forge expands on Foxtrot in these specific positions. Yeah, we don't really see the wall-offs that often, but that's a pretty good one.
Well, we'll see what happens here for Impact. I mean, the nice thing is by being forced to the gold, he does have this fantastic economy boost. Yeah,
and he's looking to apply the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, lots of feelings coming out, but I just to see 3 bases spread out so harshly. Like, keep in mind, folks, it's not just simply going from here to here. He's got to go through the rocks, so he's got to actually go all the way around if he wants to fight or defend. So I actually kind of like his approach. The best defense is good offense and all that. 2 lanes in the main are going to be a pain to deal with. Impact and micro these around for a bit of time. The Stargate, I think, was not scouted just yet. There we go. The lanes are now going to see it.
I mean, that's probably a good feeling. It's probably gonna be an Oracle. I mean, it seems that Oracle openers are pretty fashionable. And they can help against Ling attacks, but he gets on top of the Sentry just barely. They're not actually gonna get the Sentry. Good job.
And then the cannon goes down out of a little bit of paranoia. Ling's still in the main running around, waiting to see what comes out of that Stargate. This is really important for impact, because of course, if you guys don't know, you can always zoom in and take a look. You can see the shape of the actual Oracle if you were to go up there and take a look. Note to put a Spore Crawler down. In fact, he's already just putting one down out of safety's sake.
Yeah. He's gonna be feeling pretty though, like, okay, the Ling attack did not do anything, I think.
No,
Oh, well.
the Sentry looks like it did hold up there really nicely inside its own bubble. Like, what the hell? Comes back for the kill.
Well, there goes.
Oh!
No!
Oh! What? All right.
Ah!
Sentry 2 HP hype, I guess. Normally it's 1, but we'll give it 2.
Okay, alright. Well, 5 probes did go down at some point.
Activates the Pulsar Beam over here as well to make sure that cleans up those legs. There's a lot less energy I'll have coming across the map now.
I was wondering why, right? And you know, it's got impacts that I wonder as well. But like when you see a Stargate, pretty much the best or the most common response is just to drone a lot, because like what are they gonna get from it? And they usually do not all in off of it. But there are attacks that include Stargates. They include Oracles, they include Phoenixes, they include Void Rays.
Yeah, actually, I think the Void Rays are just a follow-up to this, because he doesn't want to have to keep wasting energy on the Pulsar Beam. I mean, it costs, what, 25 to activate, so you're only going to have, like, 3 seconds of attack afterwards if you've got low energy. Whereas the Void Ray can just attack forever. Might not be as effective, but it can attack forever.
That is true, but usually you get the Void Ray due to actually, like, roaches, and even then, maybe not. Like, the preference is always not to get the Void Ray. We've seen, like, you know, playing against King Sejong, actually, like, that's the map that I really remember Stargates on. But anyways, he throws on more gateways. Like, the 4 gateways is already enough to apply pressure, and he throws on even more, so it is going to be an all-in.
Yeah, he's on 2 bases as well, so he's sustained this for a bit of time. But the Hydras are coming out, and as good as Sentries are, Rain doesn't have a lot of them. And Hydras are just so good versus gateway units, just generally speaking.
This is actually going to do a third?
You know what though? We still Impact has to clean stuff. You know the thing is, he could actually just stick to the Queen or the Hydras here on the high ground. There's no actual vision for the cannons to shoot up, so he could.
He has so much money. He's not getting a third. No, he's not gonna get it. No, okay.
Well, there's that warp in right into the heart of Impact spaces, and as he rallies these Hydras out, those are free kills.
Oh god, he has to realize this.
Oh, that's like your heart sinks into your stomach when this moment happens. He does have a lot of Hydras behind this though, so it's not like 3 going down is the end of the world, but it is a big chunk of a very expensive unit set. Stalkers get contained really nicely by the Lings. Good surround as he does pick them off, and this does draw his attention away from the fact that here's the Void Rays, here's the Sentries attacking the gold.
I don't know if this is going to be enough. Okay, with another set of weapons, probably is. But he is, like...
He has to deal with this, though.
It's a split-up
reinforcements.
army.
Yeah, reinforcements are all cut off from the main.
Yeah, it's split up for both players, I guess. I don't know who's favoring more.
I definitely think this is a big deal for Impact. He can't get all of his forces to the front line. He does send some units over. Reinforced fields do go down. The Void Ray almost falls off. Of course, a lot of these Sentries were focusing on those Extractors, and neither of them do go down. But as he starts cleaning up this force that cuts him off, he can start moving forward into this army. This is looking a little bit better for Impact. Still, no real upgrades, no a lot of tech behind this, but if he can just get enough units, it'll overpower the small amount that Rain currently has.
Yeah. I mean, I was questioning it because he was reinforcing on a side that that wasn't really doing a whole lot besides getting the occasional reinforcement. So now that he's reinforcing on the side where his sentries are, I feel a little better about at least denying the gold. I don't know about killing Impact outright.
Yeah, he could just sit behind the mineral lines all day if he wanted to. Impact's gonna put a lot of emphasis on trying to hold the scores because he doesn't have that natural base down still. If he did, this would be a different story. Maybe the gold base is less emphasis for him, but we got some spines coming in and locations that are sadly in range of this cliff. This is a real BS cliff, I'm just gonna say.
This is real BS, man. Yeah. It looks like a little bit of a counterattack setup with Lings running across, but with those two cannons, I don't think they're gonna be able to do a whole lot.
No, it's certainly not. Impact's gonna have to yield this base. It's just a little too much for the army supply. Definitely in the favor of Impact, but it's... I don't know. There's still a lot of force fields available. I'm surprised we're not seeing them use. This Guardian Shield goes up instead. Guardian Shield not even covering half of this, and the Hydras are killing a lot more than they should.
Yeah, well, finally the front line Hydra's going down, but without Blink, I mean, it really is about, like, the production, so who's going to win on production? It looks like Rain just barely, with this last warp in, does take down the Hydras, and Hydras really can't retreat that well, Impact loses, well, most of his armor. Actually keeps a couple Hydras alive, okay. But he will lose the gold.
That's a lot of Lings that are going to spawn at that gold. If he times this correctly with his reinforcements, he might just be able to overwhelm Rain, but that's a big if. Gold base goes down, but of course it's about trying to kill that army, because this isn't going to stop. Rain's going to keep pushing, realizing he's got a bit of momentum. Yeah,
by the way, the Lings just ran past the cannons, and there was nothing to hold them. So they got into the main, and Rain's had been microing on that front, too.
Nice. Impact as well, picking off a couple of probes down to 7. It's a tight scenario, but Impact does get a third base back up pretty quickly. His natural base will be reclaimed in a moment's time. In the idle times, I'm surprised he's not trying to take down these debris field.
Yeah, you know, may as well. Both are microing pretty, like, you know, on two fronts. You know, the Lings over here and then the fight over there. So it is, you know, risky to just have them auto-attacking on something. Lings, you cover the, well, just the Stalkers. It's always used to saying Blink Stalkers, right?
Yeah. I mean, if Impact had +1 weapons on those Lings, these things would be so deadly. It's not worth investing, because most of the time you do expect them to be Blink Stalkers. And Lings are going to be absolutely useless against that, but in this quantity and in this number, without any upgrades from Impact, like, this is going to be really hard for him to overwhelm. He does manage to supply block Rain here very temporarily, and it looks like we have some more Lings try and run through, but the probe pull out of Rain, really nice body blocking.
Click that gateway.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's free, right? You got the simulator earlier, too. I mean, I guess for Impact's sake, the thing is, the clock is more on Rain than it is for Impact. Rain doesn't have a third. His main is starting to mine out. It's going to be really hard to sustain production. And as you said earlier, in these sort of scenarios, it's more about production than anything else.
Yeah, yeah. It's still, like, you know, you can never underestimate a Protoss army. You know, especially, like, instantaneous warp-ins, an army that looks like it's going to be overwhelmed with 7 more Stalkers warped in, suddenly looks like it's going to overwhelm the opponent. So it's just gonna kind of wait and see, like, what happens. But, you know, Hydras, Lings, they're great against Stalkers, you know, not so much force fields.
There's only about 5 sentries in this attack, and none of them are full energy. There's really not a lot of forces to cut this out. I also rather enjoy that Impact still picking off pylons, cuts out reinforcement points, but again, supply blocks. So Rain can't fully warp in brand new units. He can't get in 17 more sentries.
Yeah, this is a really big deal. There's a lot more pylons coming up, though. And I also want to point out that Impact has been making queens almost non-stop, so a lot of transfuses, and he does use them.
Yeah. Really nice buffer to add some more health to this army. Going to extending the life of these units, but drones being pulled and thrown away. A lot did die in this attack.
Why? It was just a misclick. Luckily, he has another pylon that's actually pretty safe up on that ledge right there. I don't think the Lings are going to deal with those.
Double pylon all the way. Force fields are pretty much gone at this point. There's really not a lot to, like, lock these Hydralisks out, so it's going to be a point now where he's able to fight with the full force of his army. Impact, that is, but he's not going to be enough. He's got a big army supply lead, but a lot of this is in Queens, and a lot of that was in Lings. So we're going to see if the Hydras can carry this through. Keep in mind, folks, again, there's no upgrades for Impact, so Hydras are about as naked as they can be. Really powerful units, even still.
Yeah. It looks like he's just going to overwhelm. Like, there are no more force fields, there's no more zealots. Stalkers will not do well.
Health's just starting to fall.
Are adding just a little bit of armor that was missing because you didn't get roaches, and Rain is going to, well, he's not going to win with this push. We got to see, like, is he trying to macro out of it? I don't think he can at this point.
I don't think he can. He knows it's a 2-good game. Ladies and gentlemen, Impact will knock Rain down to the losers match, where he will fight against Gumiho. And it's kind of cool. I was really not expecting these group results, and I think going off of the Team Liquid Productions predictions, I say that all weird, a lot of other folks were not quite either. So Impact will take the series. Big congratulations to him.